The political and diplomatic perspective of Trump's presidential election pledge and possible impact to Korea. Trump's presidential pledge states the USA first policy. As globalization goes along, importance of national security decreases. USA must pay attention to international politics and economy. USA could not carry the cost to keep national security alone and require defense costs to U.S. armed forces in Korea. The approval rating of wide increased and Trump promised USA-centered society, Native people protective society, and U.S. self-centeredness society. We are not the world police anymore. The most stand-up point of Trump's pledge of diplomatic security area is that USA is going to require more costs to maintain relations of alliance to allied nations. For Korea, Trump claimed 100% of defense costs of U.S. armed forces in Korea throughout the election campaign. Trump required withdrawal of U.S. armed forces in Korea or 100% payment of defense costs. As USA economic force decline and globalization and the Cold War diplomatic system goes along, economic troubles affected USA. To decrease of great loss, Trump said USA will not lead to the world police to protect allied nations and surrounding countries. Also, he showed there isn't much funds to help Korea for all sorts of fields. What will this affect Korea? In our view of security, we must keep off withdrawal of U.S. armed forces in Korea, because this carry out Korea and U.S. alliance itself. Moreover, as we expect costs of USA armed forces in Korea and South will be readjusted to Trump's pledge, it is not clear if Korea can bear all expenses. Increase of nation defense spending would rouse people antipathy and that government approval rating down. This is a serious problem for government operation too. However, unexpectedly this time as Trump is elected to president, he is being realistic and reliving drastic diplomacy and security policy. He said that USA is going to keep good relations with Korea and even had a call with the president of Korea. He treated from his previous stance that his plan to impose 45% of import duties is not true. He meant if China currency is overestimated for 45%. It is obvious that the stance of Trump as a candidate and as a U.S. president differs significantly. We will never know which one of two characters that Trump has shown us is true.
Let's talk about Donald Trump's economic policies. First of all, he's a protectionist. Protectionism is an economic system where government actively intervenes and restricts trades within foreign countries so that they can protect and encourage domestic products. They usually use the method of raising tariffs on imported goods. In specific, Trump claimed to raise the tariff on Mexico by 35% and China by 45% as a retaliation for the large input of immigrants or manipulation of currency. This indirectly affects South Korea as the exports to U.S. through the Chinese market slows down. Korean economy will be affected directly as Trump demanded a Korean-American FTA review. The number of protectionist measures from the U.S. to Korea has increased from 2,573 during 2000 to 2008 to 2,797 during 2009 to 2016. This is crucial for Korea as direct exports to the American market will decrease tremendously, which will risk most of Korean conglomerates as Korean economy is dependent on exports. Secondly, dollar currency goes bearish, which means that imported goods from Korea and the US will lose their price competitiveness. That's because Korean won's comparative value increases as dollar currency is devalued. Third, in short term, Korean financial market is affected along with that of the world. In the day of presidential election, as Trump was getting close to his victory, Kospi dropped 2.5% as the value of Korean won dropped by 11%. However, the good news is that since Donald Trump is planning to expand the budget on infrastructure, which means that the government would issue national bonds, thus raising the value of the dollar. Therefore, as Korean won currency rises compared to that of US dollar, it is likely that Korean exports to America would increase. Also, there are chances that Korean companies can participate in American infrastructure market. In addition, even during the past couple weeks after just winning the election, Trump has been frequently changing his promises, so there is some possibility that he would change his plans for trading policies as well. The shaken financial market will be settled down in a while, and we could only hope for Trump to be the good president of the United States.